Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you how to do the Executor's Remembrance, or Executor, however you want to pronounce it. This Remembrance is fairly average as far as all the steps that you have to do to finish it. But the first step we're going to do is head right over to the journal, which is going to be in the far left door. And once we get up to the journal, we're going to hit Begin Remembrance, and I always mention this in these quest videos. Make sure that you have a memory fragment to be able to start the remembrance, so you're going to have to be a Night Lord or do a bunch of expeditions with the Executor to be able to get a memory fragment, and that's how you start these remembrances. So once we get back here, we're going to head right back into the journal, and it'll give us our first step. And it says Talk to the Guardian. So to find the Guardian, all you have to do is look on your map, and it's gonna show exactly where he's at, and he's gonna be standing right here. And just make sure you exhaust his dialogue fully. And after you exhaust his dialogue, it's gonna want you to go talk to the priestess, which she's gonna be right here by the table. And you can check her journal just to make sure, but that will be the next step. And you're just gonna want to exhaust her dialogue. And once you get done talking to her, it'll say personal objective added. So you're going to want to run back to the journal and check what that objective is. And the first objective is to find flowers in Limveld. So you are going to have to do an expedition with the Executors. So to find those flowers, you can do it by yourself or you can do it with people. It doesn't matter. If you're just trying to get it done quick, I'd maybe do it by yourself so you can just die and get it done with. But it's up to you. So once you've started your expedition, if you look on your map, you will see a red dot in the top right hand corner that you need to go to, and I'm using the bird to fly over there just to make it a lot quicker. But this is the dot that you're going to need to go to, and you will have to fight a mini boss to be able to get the flowers. So just make sure that you have a somewhat higher level, like maybe 5, 6, 7, 8 is good enough. Or if you're good and you know you can take it out, then it's not an issue. So like I said, once you get over here, you are going to have to fight a Bloodhound Knight, which it's not a very hard enemy, but just make sure that you have a good weapon, decent level. Like I said, he's not too terribly hard, so don't be too worried. But luckily, I have a good weapon right now, so it wasn't very hard to take him out. And I was level 11. I mean, if you have to leave your teammates, you have to leave them. That's why it is better to do it by yourself sometimes. But after you beat them, you can come over here and grab the flowers. So once you finish the round, you should have the flowers in your inventory, and just make sure that you don't quit out of the match, because then you won't be able to get them. You'll have to restart it over again. So just make sure that you finish the round. If you die, you die. You still end up getting the flowers. Just make sure you don't quit out. So once you head back to the journal, it's going to say talk to the priestess, and she's going to be in the same spot she was before, right by the round table, and you're just going to go up to her and give her the flowers and exhaust her dialogue. Then once you exhaust her dialogue, she's going to want you to go bring the flowers to the Iron Menial, which if you look on your map, it'll show exactly where he is. So you're going to go outside, and he's going to be next to the painting area, and you'll just exhaust his dialogue. And make sure to give him the flowers when it prompts you to do so. So after you get done talking to him, it's going to want you to sit down at the table and paint a picture, so you're going to want to do that. So after you get done doing that, it's going to say Remembrance completed, and you can go over to this portal right here to conclude this portion of the Remembrance. So after you do this, it's going to bring you right back to the journal, and again, make sure you have a memory fragment to progress the Remembrance, and I explained how to do that in the beginning of the video. And you'll be rewarded with the Executor's Chalice and the Blessed Flowers Relic. And if you've already done these remembrances or bought chalices, then you already know what they are, but I will be explaining more about them at the end of the video, and I will be going over this relic as well. So to be able to progress to the next chapter, you are going to need to beat 3 Night Lords with the Executor. So you're just going to want to make sure you do that, because it's not going to let you progress if you don't. And it can be any 3 Night Lords. It does not matter. You can do it on multiplayer or single player. That does not matter either. So once you beat 3 Night Lords with the Executor, you're going to hit Begin Remembrance, and then you'll come back to the journal, and it'll say Talk to the Priestess. And she's going to be right where she normally is, by the round table, and you'll just go and exhaust her dialogue fully.
Surely you can see it. The light is fading.
And after you exhaust the priestess dialogue, you're going to want to head back over to the journal. And it's going to give you an objective. And it'll say, find a golden sprout in Limveld. So you're going to need to do another expedition. And this one is going to be, or it's going to have the mountaintops shifting lands. And there is going to be a golden sprout up there that you're going to have to get. But you are going to have to fight a mini boss before you can get it. So whether you do it by yourself or with people doesn't matter. Just make sure you have a high enough level before you're going up into that area. So once you start the expedition, there's going to be a red dot on the top of your map you're going to want to go to, and there is another red dot that I don't have marked, and that is the special power that you can get for the mountaintop area, and that is something you can get on your own. It's not with the quest at all. So the one I have marked is the one you're going to want to go to, and it's fairly easy to find once you get up there. Just in case you don't know how to get to the area, I'll show you how I got up there on my route. So this is where I'm starting from at the base of the mountain. And so we'll run across this long chain right here. You'll come across this boss and you can fight him if you want to, or just run past him. Then we'll just keep running up the hill from where we were. You'll climb up these rocks right here. And once you get up here, there is going to be a dragon, but we're just going to run past him. So we'll climb up this way. And there is going to be some crows. And once you go up the spirit stream, you're going to launch right down into this little area. And this is where the boss is going to be that you're going to have to fight. And these guys can be kind of difficult, especially on your own. But they're not very tough, especially if you're up in this area on the second day. You should have a good enough level or a good enough weapon to be able to take them out. And it does make it easier to have a team with you, for sure. But after you beat him, you will be able to get the golden sprout item that you'll need to progress through Remembrance. So once you grab the golden sprout and you've won or lost the round, once you get back to the round table, you're going to want to talk to the priestess. She's going to have some dialogue for you, and then it's going to cut into a cutscene. I'm going to skip the cutscene for now so that you can enjoy it on your own. Now, after the cutscene plays out, it's going to teleport you into an area where you're going to have to fight the Executor. And the best way to go about this fight is parrying him with the special art skill that you have with the sword, and use the sacred blade to be able to hurt him. It took me an hour and a half to be able to figure this out. You can just go at him and try to attack him as much as you want, but learning how to parry with this sword is the most satisfying feeling that I've ever had in this game, or in a game in a while. It kept, like, every time I'd wanted to parry, it would break away, and I'd have to repress triangle and left trigger again. And so it took me a while to figure this out, but if you use your light skill, it'll put you in a motion with the character where you can only walk, and your only real move is to parry. And once the parries charge up and it charges up the sword, you can then hit left trigger, and then it'll slide you toward the enemy, and you'll do a really strong slice move with the sacred blade that does quite a bit of damage. Once you figure it out, it becomes so satisfying. It's kind of hard to give advice to how to parry well in this game. You just have to have the timing right, and my advice would be to watch his hands, and right when he's about to attack, that's when you're going to want to block. So once you defeat him, he's going to have a little bit of dialogue for you, but yeah, you can fight him however you want to. You don't have to do it that way. It just makes it a little bit easier, and you don't see a lot of people using this parry mechanic on this character just because it's so hard to do. But yeah, I would suggest learning it because it's so satisfying. Like I said, to each their own. You don't have to do it if you don't want to. You can fight them however you want to. But once you finish that, it's gonna want you to go over to this light over here, and it's gonna do an illusion, and you're gonna have to go inside here and you're going to watch the Crucible Knight basically do seppuku on himself. Then after that, you will get sent back to the Round Table Hold, and you'll have some dialogue here with the priestess. And once you go through the dialogue, after that, you will unlock the Remembrance skin. Now, before we wrap up the video, I'm just going to show you the differences in the Remembrance skin versus the original skin that comes with the character. The original one, or the Remembrance one, you can see a stab wound in his stomach. And then the original one does not have that. So I believe that's the only difference in both of the skins. Other than that, they look basically the same. So, which goes for most of the Remembrance skins that you end up unlocking. The only one different that I've noticed so far is the Raider. The Raider one is pretty cool. Kind of looks like Horaloo from Elden Ring. But now after we check that out, we are going to go back to the journal and finish up this Remembrance. And you can do it by the priestess, I believe, too, with the little portal thing. And after you conclude the Remembrance, you will unlock the Golden Sprout Relic. And I will go over this and the other relic that we got as well. And the Golden Sprout Relic is pretty good. The effects on it are Roaring restores HP while art is active, and if you are using your ultimate art, the big beast thing, if you use the Roar move on it, it will restore your health like it says, and it slowly restores HP for self and nearby allies when HP is low, and HP recovery from successful guarding. And for the Blessed Flowers Relic, the effects are while character skill is active, unlocking use of Cursed Sword restores HP and Dexterity +3. So that's going to wrap things up for the Executor Remembrance. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This is one of my favorite characters in the game for sure, especially learning how to parry on this guy. It's definitely one of the most badass moves in the game if you can do it. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching.